I used the word insane wrong for years. I said it the way everybody says it. New, expensive, loud, internet famous. Then I shot a handgun that made me stop mid-mag and check the target like somebody messed with it. Because what just happened didn't match what my hands felt. So that's the rule here. This list isn't best. It's not buy this. It's 7 handguns that earn the word insane for one reason only. They break your expectations in a way you can't talk through. You feel it first. Your brain catches up late. And I'm putting a hook in you right now. One gun on this list looks completely normal on paper. No circus vibes. No look at me design. But it produced the most ridiculous moment of the whole video when it got put next to the others, back to back. I saved that one for last on purpose. If you leave early, you miss the only part that proves this video title. I ran my mouth about the 5.7 like it was just a weird flex gun. Then I had one in my hands on an outdoor bay out by Weatherford. Sun beating on the gravel, heat shimmer over the berm, and that little Texas wind that keeps pushing dust into your mouth. First string, I expected it to act like a gimmick. It didn't. It stayed freakishly flat and it tracked so straight it felt like somebody turned the recoil off halfway. I put a quick run on paper, then I stopped and stared at the holes because my hands didn't feel like they had worked for that. That's the insane part. Not loud, not flashy. It's the mismatch. Your brain lags behind what the target is already admitting. Then I sped up, and I didn't remember choosing to. My hands started following the gun's rhythm like it was leading. And for a few seconds it felt safe to get greedy. That's when it got uncomfortable. Not because it choked, because it didn't. It kept rewarding speed. I backed off the mid-session and set it down. I respected it. I still didn't trust the confidence it handed me, and that doubt stayed there like a splinter. It was a weekday evening out west of Fort Worth. The kind where the sun's already dropping, but the heat is still sitting on the gravel. I only had about 30 minutes. I wasn't there to train. I just needed a short drill and a clean exit before it got dark. First magazine through the Shadow 2 compact. My pace climbed without asking permission. The gun sat there like it had more weight than it should. The sights came back like they were on a track. It didn't feel like a compact trying hard. It felt like a bigger gun pretending to be small, and it kept rewarding speed like it was normal. That's what made it insane. Not the accuracy. The way it made control feel cheap, like I didn't pay for it. And then the bad thought showed up mid-string. This could live on me. Not, this is fun. That specific thought. The one that rewrites your carry logic while you're still shooting. I stopped and just held it for a second, irritated at myself, because I still wanted to run it again. I still wanted to believe it, and I didn't like how fast it got there. And if you think that CZ made bad ideas, wait till you meet the gun that makes you stop paying attention. It was a weekday evening out west of Fort Worth. The kind where the sun's already dropping, but the heat is still sitting on the gravel. I only had about 30 minutes. I wasn't there to train. I just needed a short drill and a clean exit before it got dark. First magazine through the Shadow 2 compact. My pace climbed without asking permission. The gun sat there like it had more weight than it should. The sights came back like they were on a track. It didn't feel like a compact trying hard. It felt like a bigger gun pretending to be small, and it kept rewarding speed like it was normal. That's what made it insane. Not the accuracy. The way it made control feel cheap, like I didn't pay for it. And then the bad thought showed up mid-string. This could live on me. Not, this is fun. That specific thought. The one that rewrites your carry logic while you're still shooting. I stopped and just held it for a second, irritated at myself, because I still wanted to run it again. I still wanted to believe it, and I didn't like how fast it got there. And if you think that CZ made bad ideas, wait till you meet the gun that makes you stop paying attention. Carry comfort has a price. I figured that out in traffic, not on a firing line. Seatbelt locked across my chest, shirt stuck to my back, and that P365XL was sitting there like it always did, until it didn't. One little shift in the seat, one awkward lean, and suddenly I felt the whole setup, not pain. More like a warning tap. Like, hey, genius, you've been calling this comfortable, but you've also been getting lazy. That's why it bothered me. The XL didn't feel small. It felt comfortable enough to stop checking myself. So I didn't argue with my own head. I went and ran it. First few rounds, the XL did what it always did. It tracked clean, stayed tight, and it made the whole car moment feel like I was overreacting. That's the trap. It performed well enough to buy back my trust instantly, like it was paying off the doubt in cash. And I hate that feeling, because it's the same feeling that makes people keep a setup that's quietly drifting in the wrong direction. I cleared it, stood there a second, and the seatbelt moment still felt louder than the target. If you think that convenience can mess with your head, the next one proved cheap and small can mess with you even worse. Last month I was in Austin for work, killing time between stops. And I made the mistake I always make. I wandered into a gun shop just to look. The GX4 Carry was sitting in the case like it had a job to do. Not flashy, not special, just available. The guy behind the counter barely had to push. He hit the soft spots. Small, light, easy to carry, decent price. People have been grabbing these. The kind of pressure that sounds responsible when you're tired and you've got other problems on your mind. I felt the slide. That moment where you stop choosing a gun and start choosing a solution. You start buying relief. You start buying permission to quit thinking about it. I've seen guys buy a gun like this and call it prepared. Then they stop trying. Guns like this win in the worst place. Not on the belt, not under stress. They win right here, under glass, with bright lights and a clean sales pitch. They fit the moment. They fit the budget. They fit the story you're telling yourself in real time. I didn't buy it. I stepped back from the case and acted like I was still browsing, but that pitch stayed in my head the rest of the day. Not because it was true, because it was convenient. It happened on a match day, standing on deck with a mag in my hand, hearing that timer in my head before it even beeped. People behind you, quiet in that way they get when it's your turn. No, take your time, no excuses, just you, the stage, and whatever you brought to the line. The first run with the Staccato XC felt unfair. Not loud, not dramatic, just flat. The dot stayed there like it didn't believe in recoil, and my transitions started happening before I finished thinking them. Steel sounded like a metronome. I posted a time that would have taken me a cleaner day and a better mood on anything else. And I didn't celebrate. I got quiet because there's no good way to talk about that moment without it sounding like excuses. If I said I shot well, it sounded like I was bragging. If I said the gun helped, it sounded like I was buying my way out of work. Walking back, I looked at my regular pistol in the bag, and it already felt slower in my mind. That's the part that stuck, not the score, because the next gun didn't cost more. It cost me something else. It looked normal, and then it made me question whether I'd been lying to myself the whole time. Last year, I rolled in Arizona to see my buddy, dusty from the road, still feeling that long stretch in my shoulders. No big plan, no speech, no range day. He looked at what I brought, looked at me, and hit me with one line that landed harder than it should have. All right, quit talking. Run this. He handed me the IWI Masada like it was nothing. No hype, no warning. Just that quiet confidence people have when they already know how it's going to go. We set up a simple little challenge. Nothing fancy, nothing to explain away later. First run, the Masada didn't do anything cute. It just worked. It stayed together. It tracked clean. It gave me the same answer every time I pressed it, even when I tried to rush it just to prove some kind of point. And that's when it got uncomfortable, because I wanted it to be good for the price. I wanted an asterisk. I wanted a reason to shrug and move on. Instead, I went quiet. Not impressed, not excited. Quiet, because my argument ran out mid-sentence and I could feel it. I handed it back acting normal, but that drive home feeling stayed stuck. I respected it, and I still didn't like how easily it earned that respect. If any of those felt normal to you, you've either got better taste than me, or you haven't actually pushed them past a polite little range trip, because that's what separated cool from insane on this list. The insane ones weren't just accurate. They weren't just reliable. They made something feel too easy for what it was. Too flat, too fast, too controllable, too clean. Like you got away with something. And I'm gonna say it straight, a couple of these build confidence. One or two build the wrong kind of confidence. That's where people get dumb, and that's where mistakes happen. Now, tell me in the comments, which one surprised you the most and which one made you roll your eyes because you've heard the hype 1,000 times? I'm Steve. Catch you on the next one.